We are live. Hopefully,
What?
they should be able to hear you this time. And I'm gonna make sure.
Wait for the 30-second Twitch ad, and then they can hear me.
I don't know that there's ad. Is there ads in this?
I don't know. I still get Twitch ads every once in a while. That's fine.
I'm gonna make sure. Okay. I'm gonna listen to a bit of this just to make sure. I don't know that there's ad. Is there ads in this? Ba-dum-bum. Don't buffer Twitch. Come on. Alright, I can kind of hear you. You're still a little bit low. I'm gonna try to turn you up. Alright, Colin, I'm gonna need you to talk some more.
Hey everybody, welcome to another PSN Stores live stream. We're back with Resident Evil 6.
Alright, and just give me a second.
Yeah.
Since we are a little bit of a delay, I want to make sure this stream sounds good. Or that you sound. Alright, Colin, I'm gonna need you to talk some more.
How do I sound?
Oh, it would buffer right when you start talking.
Hey everybody,
Alright, well that sounds okay. That's literally as loud as I can get you. So
oh, okay.
hopefully that works out.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're playing Resident Evil 6.
It's a video game that came out either in 2012 or just a couple weeks ago, depending.
Yeah, depending on on what timeline
how
you live
play
in.
it.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so let's see. PlayStation Network, private, all regions, playing for fun, da da da. We're gonna get you into this. So we played last week. We started off our playthrough. This is part 2. We played the first 2 missions of the Chris campaign. I'll go ahead and invite you.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh
So
boy,
we're gonna kick off things right back with Chris in mission 3. I just sent you an invite. Now last week, our last stream, as it turns out, you were basically impossible to hear.
Yeah,
So-
I think what ended up happening was that I was just saying a lot of just things that shouldn't be said, so you just ended
A lot of government conspiracies, so we had
there's a lot
to.
of government conspiracies. We just had to mute Collin
Hmm.
for the whole time, but that's okay.
Right,
Or we might have had a problem with the recording. One of those two.
one of those things. So hopefully it's better this week. We did some extensive tests to make sure that you can be heard.
Sir?
Yep.
Yeah. So, God, what happened? We ran into Ada Wong.
You remember,
Yep.
And she, up to her
Captain?
usual no good stuff. We had the flashback.
Yeah. She mentioned Neo Umbrella.
Mm-hmm. Who was that character in the flashback that died? Or what was that guy's name?
Oh man.
There's a character.
Finn?
Finn sounds right.
Yeah,
There's a character in your unit.
Because I think weren't we making a Star Wars joke or something?
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember.
Maybe. So we're back. Okay.
Yep.
Here
We're
we are.
back, right when the thing blew up.
Oh, I got a knife.
From mission 1.
Okay. I gotta get back to you. Figure out how to play this game again.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, look at. Okay.
Going to town.
We'll just leave him. We'll leave these guys to do their thing with the fire. So, Colin, how's your week been?
It's been going
Oh.
pretty good. Oh, there's a giant rattlesnake.
Sure.
My week has been going better than that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much.
Everyone
But,
on me.
yeah, it's
We're going after that thing.
Have you So last I talked to you mostly was I was like, hey, how's that Ratchet? How's that Ratchet game? And you're like, I haven't even
Yeah.
touched it yet.
Yeah.
So let me ask
There was
you.
this Into the Gungeon game.
Let me ask you
I showed you
again.
that.
How is that Ratchet and Clank game?
It's I've played about maybe 4 hours,
Mhm.
3 hours. It's pretty fun. I'm
Look at
really
this
happy with it.
panda. Oh, dude. Oh, come on. I was hoping it would. Oh. So,
Oh, I think we've done this before. No, I swear you can get on this thing.
Here we go.
Yes.
All right. And
I
that's
think I remember that from the PS3
very good.
iteration.
This is great. This is great. What?
Good job.
That little like pose at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, one of my well, I'd say one of my favorite things already with the new Ratchet game
Mhm.
is there's these hollow cards which are like collectible, like they're kind of like they're kind of the collectibles in the game.
Yeah.
But, like they have like different sets with like different heroes and things like that. And oh, there it goes. I'm trying to get on the other side. But basically, like you'll get like a hollow card of like a weapon, but like you won't actually get to use that weapon, but it'll be like a weapon from like Ratchet Deadlock.
Okay. Oh.
And it'll
Okay.
say like first appearance like Ratchet Deadlock 2005, and it's almost like a history of
Mhm.
Ratchet games.
That's
and
cool.
Yeah, and there's like different sets, different characters, different locations. It's very, I'd say very much, like as a remake of the first game. There's a lot of similarities. I think it's really cool to see those kind of things happen. Yeah, there's like a lot of it's kind of getting to that line where like, well, is it too much like the original, or is it like, actually like an homage to it? And, like,
Oh,
enjoying it?
sure.
Like there's some things I guess you wish they could have changed. But
Uh-huh.
I'd say for the most part, I'm really enjoying it. I think the weapons are really cool, like they always are. Like pretty much the same locations.
Mhm.
You pretty much go to the same locations beat for beat.
Do you I mean, I don't know if you remember much of the original game, like is the level design like a lot like super different, or does it?
So I say I've probably beaten the original game many times.
Okay.
So like I've played it many times on PS2. I played it on PS3, and I replayed it on Vita when it was on that collection.
Yeah.
So I've played it a lot of times, but I would say it's almost kind of similar, where like, hey, you get to planet Iridia,
Mhm.
and if you go to the left, you go do this part of the mission, and if you go to the right, you do this part of the mission, or of the planet. And it's almost kind of beat for beat there, but like all the enemies basically look the same, but they're updated and look great.
Right. Pixar graphics, right?
Yes. Something like that.
It's so dumb.
So I had seen like trailers and screenshots and stuff like that
Mhm.
of Ratchet and Clank, and I never everyone was like, wow, this is like the best looking game on PS4.
It's pretty good looking.
I don't know. I was watching videos and I was like, I don't know about that. But then you're actually like playing the game,
Yeah.
and man, it looks incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
would say
insane.
Yeah, I'm trying not to rush through it. I guess,
Oh, sure.
I have done with some of it. So,
Because I'm sure, yeah,
usually
that's
a couple hours here and there.
that's something you could probably finish pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I can beat Dark Souls in like 2 days, that like you could probably get through Ratchet and Clank really fast.
So did you already beat Dark Souls?
Oh
3?
yeah, you of course.
Oh man.
See, here's the thing with those games. It is so hard to avoid spoilers and to avoid. Oh, well, hold on! Before we go through that door, there's a thing, or maybe we don't have a choice.
Oh.
Never mind. That's okay. It's so hard to avoid spoilers for those games, and once they're out, especially on YouTube and stuff, it's everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, like a few hours, like it's just hours after I beat it. I'm gonna call them out. Game Informer posted an article, and they tweeted out, and the title of that article was basically a spoiler for one of the endings.
Oh no.
And it's like, cool guys. And like Bandai Namco have been even worse about it. They have straight up,
Oh, I was hearing.
oh my god, they've been tweeting like, hey, show your, like, for example, I got on Facebook one day, and on their Facebook page it was like, hey, post pictures of what your character looks like in the character creator. And it's like, okay, sure. And then they had like a little like video that they tied to that post, and the video was a few seconds straight from the ending. And like, granted, if you saw it, you wouldn't have like known better, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know, it's like the principle of it. And so they've actually been really bad about like just straight up posting things that are like, oh, you probably shouldn't post that.
Yeah. Dang.
So that's fun. So you know, you got to get through those games. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, it's I feel like it's pretty tough with those games in particular. That, I mean, usually like you play a game, I don't know, just like BioShock or something like that, and it's like you don't really think like, you know, one of the mid bosses or something like that is like that much of a spoiler or something like that. But like, there's just so many things like tied around to Dark Souls, like, you know, a new weapon or a new boss or a new area. Like, you know, it's not just story. Like, when people also think spoilers, they think like, oh, well, it's just the story. Like, there's no story spoilers.
Right.
Like, I just feel like there's like so many other things with Dark Souls.
With Dark Souls, it's very much its boss, its locations, because of the way, you know, the way the story is told. And I mean, story, I would more say lore. Like, it's, and there's like the sense of discovery, right? Like, there are, you know, if someone would have told me the names of certain like locations that are in that game, I would have been like, dude, why would you say that? So it's, you know, those games are very, very much it's worth going in blind on those. So whenever one of them comes out, it's like, all right, I need to get through this quick because I don't want to be spoiled. Like, now that it's out, like, you know, anything could go wrong. But that said, that game's pretty good.
Dark Souls or Bloodborne, make a choice.
You know what? I don't know where I'll sit, you know, a few years from now. Because I think it's a bit early, but I've also kind of like, I've kind of, after Bloodborne, I felt like I decided that it's, and this is a bit of a cop-out, I think it's almost impossible to really, like, make comparisons between those games, at least right now. Because also, like, I'm seeing a lot of people like, oh, this is one of the easier games, and it's like, no, like, it's not. You've just
a lot of divisiveness, I guess, between them.
You've just,
people are like, yeah, it's so easy.
It's not, because it's like, this is the 5th game that you've played, so you're just good at them. Like, I don't know that it's really possible to say one way or the other. Like, you could probably like make a pretty good argument for like Dark Souls 2, I guess, maybe being like one of the easier ones. But I just feel like it's one of those things where like your first of these games, it's going to be really hard because you're not really and completely used to how, you know, they play and how the bosses are kind of put together and any number of things. Like, it's something you've got to kind of get good at. This is going great. But the point is, like, once you've played, you know, 3, 4, or even 5 of these now, you kind of know what to expect. And even though there's still, you know, plenty of surprises to be had, you know, the way bosses play out and the way, just the way the level design, you know, is put together, like, you kind of know what to expect from Software. And they do, not that they, you know, are just doing the same things over and over again. You just,
Not that it's a matter of
yeah, you just know what to do, right? And so it's you've gotten good at those mechanics, and those mechanics have been refined, and new additions have been added over the years. But I feel like it's impossible to just sit there and be like, yeah, this is clearly the easiest one, when you also have probably been putting like hundreds of hours into this kind of game. So it's really hard to say. That said, I think there are some really hard bosses in the game, especially, and it's also because like this game more than others has a much more gradual difficulty curve, where it starts out relatively easy and then gets really hard towards the end.
Yeah.
So, but it's great. It's one of the best games that has come out this year, alongside Dragon Quest Builders. Unfortunately, that has not been localized yet.
Yeah.
Now, see, the real question is, which is better, that or Dragon Quest Builders? And to you and everyone else, I do not know the answer to that question.
Let's go.
At least not yet. I am very curious, like, 5-6 years from now, how the Souls games and Bloodborne will be viewed, and like specifically the trilogy of like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Like, I'm curious how people are going to view those games, because Dark Souls 1 obviously was received like stupidly well. And then 2, like, oh, that's fine. 2 was also, like a very good game, but that's a much more divisive game.
Sure.
Probably the most divisive of the series, and I think if you ask anyone to rank the games, you would probably see most people put 2 at the bottom. And not that 2 is bad, like, all of those games are incredible. But I'm curious how 3 is going to fit into the whole picture, because 3 in a lot of ways feels like a best of, like, everything. So, I don't know.
Would you say 3 is the most accessible?
See, I think that's almost impossible to ask too, because to me, see, I don't know, like, I almost think Bloodborne might still be more accessible, but 3 is also, like, the combat in 3 is also sped up a bit. It's not as fast as Bloodborne, but it's definitely faster than previous, Souls games. I'm sure, but at the same time, like, 3 has added things from the other games that make it a bit easier. So Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3 probably would be the more accessible option. I would almost recommend Bloodborne, but see, that's the tough thing, is like, if you go to Bloodborne, going from that to Dark Souls, like, there's a pretty substantial shift, and it can be hard to kind of get used to, but because they play differently. Because even though, like, Dark Souls 3, it's a little bit faster, Bloodborne still, like, it feels very different from those other games. So I don't know. I really don't know what is more accessible and what isn't. If I had to choose, it'd be one of those two games. But at the same time, there's also a part of me, knowing what is in Dark Souls 3, that's like, hey, you're missing out on things if you don't play 1. At the very least 1. Oh, this is great.
Now who's the one dying?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll let you get the grenade launcher if you want. So you can...
Actually, we can both get it, actually.
Oh.
Sorry, I forgot what I was
Well, never
I was
mind.
wondering about that.
Good
Yeah,
job.
we can both get it.
Oh.
The chopper's back to finish the job.
Collin, you can't let them hit you like that.
Chopper's targeting us now. Everyone,
Everybody.
bring that chopper down and bring it down hard.
I also cannot wait, because I feel like, everyone's going to be trying to, like, make the list of, like, what's the best boss fight, like, now that they're all out, and, like, now that this is, supposedly the end of, the series, at least for now, at least for a while, which 3 definitely feels like the end, at least for a little while. I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's more, like, I don't think it's appropriate to make those arguments now. I think you gotta give it time. But I cannot wait or a few years from now, to have the conversations about, you know, where 3 stands amongst all the others, like what are the best bosses? Because I think 3 has a handful of bosses that I would maybe put on that list. Got reaction of like some of the best, like top 10 Dark Souls bosses. Maybe, I don't know, but ask me in 5 years, and we'll have a great conversation. I do think, yeah, I do think I do think that Dark Souls, I don't know, it's weird. I was looking at like Arby's and Totino's are tweeting about Dark Souls now, and that is crazy. Like what world do we live in? It's so strange. It's so weird. But I wonder how. I don't know. It's so crazy to think about, like where the series started with Demon Souls and how it was just this like niche game, and then Dark Souls definitely elevated it to kind of a higher status, and now it feels like it's everywhere, and that's great. That's such a great thing. But it's also crazy to think about. So that game has essentially engulfed my entire week. I purchased Bravely Second this morning, and I figured I'll play Bravely Second is the sequel to Bravely Default on the 3DS. Flying Fairy. Yep. It also has a second subtitle, but I can't say it without spoiling a major part of the game. But it's pretty great.
I think it's in the title, isn't it?
Yeah, they changed the title at one point in the game, and it's pretty great.
Oh.
But I won't say what they changed it to. So I got that, and you know, Bravely Default, for context, was one of my favorite games of the year that it came out. It is so good. So I've been pretty hyped for Bravely Second. Now look at this.
Yep.
Getting that medal. I've been pretty hyped for Bravely Second, so I bought it this morning, downloaded it, figured I'd probably spend most of the day playing that. I played for a few hours, and then immediately started like pulling up lore discussions for Dark Souls 3 and ignored Bravely Second. So that went great. That's the trouble, you know, you put your game out next to like a From Software game, and you're gonna have a bad time. I haven't even bought Ratchet, and I don't know when I will at this point. And
You gotta get that Destiny update.
I absolutely like I absolutely like am super pumped to play Ratchet. I just don't know, like I don't know, because like at this point, like all I want to do is just play Dark Souls, which happens anytime one of these games comes out. It's like that's what happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Bravely Second is pretty cool so far. I haven't really played enough of it, but the snake is back. So is this it's got a little translucent. Is this canonically the Resident Evil 1 snake? In a world where that snake isn't dead.
Yeah. Maybe.
Ah.
What the hell were you thinking, pulling a kamikaze stunt like that?
But when we restart, when we get out of this scene, I need to combine some herbs if I have any. I don't remember because I'm pretty much almost low on health, and yeah, so we need to do that.
Kissed.
That would be pretty great.
Man.
That'd be pretty funny.
You heard the man. Let's move.
How are we supposed to drop this thing if we can't even see it?
Shut up and keep moving.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, secrets. All right, hold on, just a second. Let me. What do I do to triangle? Here we go. Okay,
Not you too.
got it. Okay. And give me just a second.
Okay.
Oh, well. I'm just gonna keep dropping that controller all the time.
Travis, are you okay?
I'm alive.
Okay. Hey everybody! Thanks for tuning
All right,
in
I'm
to
back.
we're gonna give him
I'm back.
some praise here.
Okay. Praise
man,
his son.
Thank goodness Curtis is away.
What?
Praise. Did you know there's a Did you know there's a praise the gun
I heard.
emote
I heard.
in Destiny?
I heard.
Yeah. You need to buy that.
Oh, do you?
Oh, you need to. Yeah.
I don't.
I haven't bought one emote.
You shouldn't.
I should not. They gave
Yeah,
me
this-
400.
Oh,
They gave me some microtransaction. Oh yeah, that's a jump scare.
that was weird. What was what?
I have no
Not here
idea,
either.
man. It's a video. It's Resident Evil.
Yeah,
I don't.
you're not wrong about that. This looks okay. So we got no. Never mind. Oh,
Let him go, you piece of shit!
I'm gonna waste my ammo shooting that.
chart of dentistry.
I just about said something, and then I would have made you really sad.
Oh no. What?
So, do you want me to say it?
Is it related to Destiny?
No.
Okay.
It's like I saw this shrine thing right here with the candles.
Okay.
Like, you know what? They should make a new Silent Hill game.
Yeah. Hey, they should.
And I was like, oh.
I'm really excited for that new one that, you know, Silent Hills. That's gonna be great
Oh yeah.
when they make that one. Yeah.
We forgot about the Pacific Terror
Yeah.
coming out soon.
PT.
This shit's in the way. Give me a hand.
That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
You know. So
There we go.
yeah, you got it. A lot of like little interspersed cutscenes and like 20 seconds of gameplay here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
All these snakes.
Everyone,
We're
report in.
separated.
Oh, we are.
Here's here. I'm on the 3rd floor.
Stand by.
Captain,
Just-
I can't find Shaft. He's
That's
gone.
right.
Get a hold of yourself, Marco. Where are
Break
you?
open this.
2nd floor. Oh shit. I think that thing's here.
Target is on the 2nd floor. You all need to come here now.
Let's investigate.
You wanna know
Read.
something that- You want to know something that blew my mind the other day?
Hmm.
Damn it.
We're like 2 months away from E3.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Wow.
Be excited. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
That's him
awesome.
It's
screaming.
gonna be great.
Coming, man.
I don't know what to think about this.
Marco, don't move. Hold your
4.5
position. Do you hear me?
business
That's an order.
PlayStation.
Oh, the 4K stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I don't think like if this thing is real, what do you think the name of it is?
PlayStation 4K.
I don't think I would rather it be 4.5. I don't know. I just feel like the name 4K.
I think they run the risk of like some really bad and overdone jokes if they do PlayStation 4.5.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey.
I think it'll be 4K.
Okay. I don't know.
I'll
I
let
just
you
feel like
find
I
your
feel like I can-
secrets.
Yeah, I'm going down here and whatever you brought. Yeah, see, I'm fucking this stuff. Player, I'm sorry.
I can't wait to see that new God of War game.
Yeah,
That'll be great.
should have a there should be a podcast.
Actually,
for-
I really,
about
I think the things I'm most excited about that are like announced. We'll go with like things I'm most excited that we know about. I want to see Horizon. Of course. I feel like that was one of the best showing things last year.
yeah.
Definitely want to see more of that and see where that's like progressing. Hopefully it's because like the two demos we've seen have basically been the same. Mostly. So
Pretty much.
hopefully something, you know, a little bit different from that.
Okay, shit and we put
Man,
it
like
down
that. I mean,
fast
yeah,
and
like
hard.
of the things that I would expect to see, you know, I'd get a release date for The Last Guardian, hopefully. But I kind of don't want to see any more of that. I'm good to go.
I'm getting worried about that game, and is why I mean I'm getting worried is that I'm not confident that that's a 2016 game.
You're crazy.
I want it to be a 2016 game,
You're crazy.
but I've just got this
Where are you,
feeling that
son?
like they're gonna come out and they're gonna be like they're gonna come out in June. They're gonna be like
No.
April 32nd or
No,
April 32nd.
April 32nd, yeah.
That doesn't exist.
I guess that's fitting.
2017,
I guess that's fitting for that
and
game.
it just never comes out.
No,
they're gonna
it'll be
like
this year.
April 20th.
I don't know. You know, like they said a few months ago, they're not talking about it because they don't want to, you know, they can't really, you can't really say much about that game without spoiling stuff.
Because it's only 6
It's
hours.
a super, yeah, it's going to be a very short game, but it's, you know, being very story heavy. Like I think they'll come out and it'll be like, yeah, it's coming out in a couple months. Like I think it'll be a very short time span between release date announcement and when it comes out. And I expect the next time we hear about it will be when we hear a release date.
I'd hope so.
And they literally, like, also, it was like a couple weeks ago, they mentioned that game as like, yeah, it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
And like in passing, so I think we're okay. This snake is something else. I don't know, like Horizon and something. Maybe some good surprises.
Yeah.
Drive Club 2.
Something. Yeah. Some Evolved Studios. The successor of Evolution.
But hey, good on Codemasters for picking like all of them up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, kind of. I mean, even like the biggest studio closures recently were UK studios.
Oh
Is
yeah.
Evolution in the UK?
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
was it- Or in UK. I knew it was Europe, but I couldn't remember if it was.
I mean, I don't know.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like that. And Lionhead closed
Yep.
down.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're crawling through here.
Yeah.
Killed my men.
He was dragging me away. I shot him.
There's Chris Butt.
Uh-oh.
But see,
Oh, my.
the crazy thing is, like, you know, for a lot of the other things that we'll probably get, like, new trailers for or, like, updates on, a lot of that stuff I kind of don't want to see anymore. Like, Final Fantasy 15, I'm good. Persona 5, I'm good. Now, like,
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, give me more of that. And then, like,
We're gonna get
Nier...
some new-
Well, see,
Nier,
I think we're
yeah.
supposed to get new Nier stuff, like, really soon, because there's, like, a concert, I think, this weekend, that there's supposed to be some new stuff on. So that's exciting, and I think they're still saying that might be this year also, which I don't know if I believe. But if it is, hey, great.
Yeah.
2016, the year that keeps giving.
Well, what do you think of a Resident Evil 7 announcement?
I want to believe.
With an exclusive beta on PlayStation.
Don't even. Because that implies things that I don't want.
Yep.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, I haven't even played that Battleborn beta yet either.
I'm not going to.
I'm gonna play it. I need to play it. Try it out. Like, I feel like I'm gonna play like one match. Just like, yeah, play that Battleborn beta.
There's a penguin in it. I don't know.
Toby the Penguin.
Toby the penguin. Oh. Don't worry. It's taken care of.
Okay. Did we? No, we didn't.
I gotta get this skill point over here.
Oh, it's over here.
I'll let you take care of him.
Uh-oh. Oh, he missed.
That thing's in here.
Do you have any excitement for Titanfall 2? That's a no.
That might sound sarcastic, but my hype index is probably like an 87. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked playing a little bit of the first Titanfall on Xbox, and I am very excited. So, yes, Chris, you kind of knew that. For a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's not too much
But,
of a surprise.
Yeah, it's not really news, but it's just kind of like, it's just kind of, I don't want to say surreal or whatever, but it's kind of weird. Like,
It's weird.
seeing on
It
the
is weird to
official
see.
PlayStation-
Yeah, because like that's
official-
because I'm pretty sure like that's the account that tweeted it out.
Yeah.
After it.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't know about like swords. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. But I'm always more of a fan of the fast-paced first-person shooters.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I like more. Sometimes I like more of the movement, kind of traversal stuff, like in first-person games. But I have kind of not been a fan of how like Call of Duty has done it recently, where they have, like, you're running on walls and you're double jumping and all that stuff. Yeah, I guess I'd rather leave that to be something like Titanfall rather than a Call of Duty. I feel like that's why I like Call of Duty Ghosts, and I actually hope we get a Ghost 2.
Yeah, yeah, you're one of the weird ones.
Just because it's just a grounded Call of Duty. You're not jumping around all over the place. I missed it. Almost. Yeah, so I have this lever,
I need power for this thing.
and we have to...
I'm on it.
Uh-oh, he's gonna die. He's gonna get shocked.
Way to go, dude.
I knew it.
Oh,
So
that's a great
so I
place to
gotta-
start me at.
Oh no, don't turn around. Not you, the snake.
Oh my god. I'm like getting no chance at all to do anything.
There it is.
I'll let you take care of it.
Coming.
Yeah, just ignore us.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I got hit again. Alright.
Up the ladder.
Finally. Oh, look, an herb.
Okay, so we have this lever,
Yep.
and we have to get it to come across this thing.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh.
Turn around again.
Oh.
Oh, hello. Oh, you die?
Nope.
Oh. Just came up here.
So we just gotta make it line up.
Yeah, and then you gotta press X. I think we're probably gonna have to lure it.
Yeah.
Oh. Ow.
Yeah, I'll let you be the lure.
Okay. I'm trying to... How do I use this first aid spray? I don't understand how
I had to add
so weird.
to my Tic Tac canister.
I don't have that option.
Oh.
Under first aid spray?
Well,
Fine. I don't think I see it.
Collin, this is going great.
Going amazing.
Continue.
What? 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 What?
His head is toughened up or something. Our weapons aren't doing anything.
This is what Resident Evil has become. Oh my god.
I'm sorry you had to look at this, Curtis.
This fight is not fun.
I'm sorry, this is what it had to come down to.
Am I the lure now? Come on, Snake. Do it. Hit the lever. Hit it. No, he went up there. No, he's hit the lever.
Oh,
What?
I got him, kind of. Got his tail.
See, here's the thing. Every time, like, it flashes this scene, right? And every time it flashes back, the snake is already turned around. It is on me. And so I get hit immediately. And then it flashes to another scene. Yep. Oh, look. The snake's back. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Hit that lever. Hit that lever.
Going. There we go. Camera's walking out on me.
Big surprise. It's a camera being weird in a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, right.
We did it.
I'm glad we only had to do it once because I thought it was
God,
gonna be like,
don't
no, you gotta
even.
do it like 3 more times.
Don't joke. Track Ada Wong.
Okay, so I found out how to use my first aid spray.
Okay.
It's under like your grenade slot. It's like as a grenade, like up on the D-pad, you have grenades.
Oh.
It's like there. And you have to use it like a grenade
That's great.
for some reason. So next time you want to throw a grenade, get a
Yeah.
can of shaving cream.
That's right. Bum, bum, bum. Oh,
That.
that's strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
Okay.
oh, I just shocked myself. Oh, there's a red herb.
Yep.
Of
Oh,
course I can't pick it up.
I wanted to shock myself too. Make yourself even.
I'm going to throw this grenade so it can free up some space. There we go.
Okay.
But no Ada yet. I'm not gonna rest until we have
Oh,
her head
wow.
on a stick.
A little violent.
What happened?
He's like, I'm not gonna rest until we have our head on a stick.
Yeah, this is kind of the part where Chris goes,
Chris is a little
little crazy.
off the.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, here's a part. Yeah, I think Chris goes kind of crazy here, too.
Oh, good. I always knew there was something up with him.
This is crazy. It's not safe in here. We need to pull out. Captain!
Looking for me, boys? Welcome to China.
Ada!
Welcome to China, Collin.
Wait! We've got no choice. We have to kill him. He'd do the same for us.
Chris, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, this is the part where the pain from Metal Gear Solid 3 comes in.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, you see you fight the pain.
Yeah.
Cool fight. Like, shoot the bug thing.
Is it? Is it a cool fight?
Not, as you can tell, no. Ah, I keep running out of ammo.
I'm gonna like hold the controller away from the mic when I do those QTEs.
Yeah, I just blew it up. With
Good job.
I just blew it up with a grenade launcher.
Oh, I'm glad that
What's that?
he exploded into C4.
Oh, yeah, he had the C4 on him.
Mm-hmm.
He did. I think he was like the demolition guy or something.
I want to believe that he blew up into C4. Or melted into C4. Whichever... whatever terminology you prefer.
He became C4. His legacy will live on through a plastic explosive.
Oh, man. Chris looked
Because-
really angry right there.
Because we haven't kicked down all the other doors. We have to blow this one up.
Yeah. It's for Marco is it's for him. We use his C4.
Chris, we need to stay calm. After what
Pierce, I've
she's
been
done to
through
us, how many
like
of our
3
men
games
are dead
now.
because of that bitch? Right
I'm
there with
done.
you, Captain. But your personal vendetta isn't gonna get us anywhere. If you hadn't been blinded by vengeance, we could have prevented some of those deaths. Shut up.
Stuff I've seen.
Do you even care about our mission?
I have more inventory spots than you.
Shut up! I feel sorry
or less.
Yeah.
No, wait, he has got less. He's got 2 less. He's got 4.
Platinum Demon Souls.
What?
No, you didn't.
The legend of Chris Redfield, huh? What happened to you?
Platinums matter. not trophy level.
Platinums do matter, Pierce. You just don't get it. My trophy level. It says a lot about who I am. So I've only ever platinum Bloodborne. I never did get the other ones. And I don't think I'm going to on Dark Souls. Just because, like, I don't know. The Souls games, like, the platinums are those. Because, like, you're getting every single, like, pyromancy and magic ability and stuff. And to get all of them, there's always, like, a couple that require just, like, you to max out a covenant or something. And so, like, that part I just don't really care. I'm okay. I'd rather just, like, play a bunch of new characters and spend my time that way.
It gets to that point that like you play the game so much, maybe also that like you just don't really like the game anymore. I've had that kind of happen, or you're going after a platinum and like you just have to play the game. So
I mean, that
much,
wouldn't.
so many, like,
That definitely
things.
it wouldn't happen for me with those games. But it's like, do I want to start multiple different characters and play that way and have fun, or do I want to spend most of my time grinding out a very specific item drop to give to the covenant to upgrade that covenant? And I'm okay. Also, because most covenants are like PvP based or co-op based, and I don't really do the co-op very much. So there's that too. There's a sniper. These missions are long. It's the other thing I learned last week was that there's not very many missions for each character, so they're pretty lengthy. There's the person is.
Oh no! There we go. There's one.
Oh, that's the wrong weapon.
There's 2. I got him.
I'll leave it to you.
I got a sniper.
All right.
But the more I play this game
Mm-hmm.
with you, the more I'm like, man, I really want to play Resident Evil 5 together.
Yeah, that one I'm still excited for.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty excited for 5.
Yeah, that one. I bet that's gonna be fun.
I think, well, it's got 5 is it's actiony, but it's still less actiony than this.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a bad thing that like I'm already at this point where it's like I don't know, man.
Oh, you got to, man. Are we gonna even finish this game?
Oh, we gotta finish it, but
Yeah.
Boy.
There we are.
look at that guy is just. I think sometimes you just reach a point where it's like I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah.
I went in with all this hope last week.
What'd you do that for?
I don't know. Why do I have hope for anything? I know how things
Because
go.
the last Guardian exists.
That's right.
why you have
Because Final Fantasy 15 is coming out this year. We live in a world where the Totino's guy is tweeting about Dark Souls. I mean,
I wonder if Sonic the Hedgehog eats Totino's.
I mean seriously. Oh, that's no, he's a chili dogs guy.
Yeah, that's true.
But seriously. Arby's and Totino's. Like what? How? What?
I love that, like, this is how social media has gone now. That, like they're actually, like, they're kind of caught up, like, on maybe current events.
Well, like,
stuff.
Taco Bell definitely has always kind of been that way. That their Twitter is.
Rather than being, like,
And, like, that's
like,
great.
very
Like, that's awesome.
professional.
I like that that's how they are, right? Like, I like that they're.
Yeah, me too.
It feels more real.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
bless you.
Thank you. Maybe real's not the right word. Like, I don't know. Like, that's like the thing with
I feel like
the thing
you wanna
with
go, I feel like you're more interested in their products.
Yeah,
than
it's
like,
it's like the Sonic
they're like that.
Twitter account where it's very self-aware and just like
Yes.
it's okay. It's willing to just be kind of self-degrading in some ways. Or like I don't know, seeing it's kind of strange. Like the seeing brands like fast food chains being excited about Dark Souls is such a crazy thing, and I think it's cool because it's like a thing I care about that is getting, we'll call it mainstream attention.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just so strange.
Helo's about to open up on us.
So
We're sitting ducks out here.
as we've already, that's not what I
See ya.
wanted to do. We've established these are not zombies. Because if we've not been able to
That's
figure,
not politically correct.
well, there's that, but also that's my favorite reason. But also because this one's piloting a helicopter.
Oh yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying zombies are incapable of anything but moaning and walking forwards at a slow pace. But flying a helicopter is not something I would expect out of them.
It's, what's the zombie kind of like being
Keep
judgmental?
moving.
Zombiest?
You're judging. Yeah, exactly. I think you're judging.
Lifeist?
Yeah, I think you're judging them unfairly, Curtis.
It's not their fault they're dead.
Uh-oh. There
Oh.
goes Chris.
I don't, was I just too slow there?
Yeah, you're just too slow, yeah. Or I was thinking, like, you get blown into the water, and then just, like, he's all of a sudden just choking.
I was hoping maybe you'd have to like dive in after me or something.
Yeah, that's what the next Resident Evil game has, swimming. The
Oh.
swimming mechanic.
Don't. Listen,
There is a game that has a swimming mechanic. Revelations 1 has a swim. There's sections in Revelations 1. Yeah,
Sonic water levels. Did you see to remain topical? Did you see the video of the guy who set the Super Mario Brothers world record? Like just the other day? There's a guy, there's a video of it. It's like a little under 5 minutes. I think it's like 4:40 something. But he's got the new record for Super Mario Brothers, the original game. And it's pretty crazy. Obviously, like lots of warp skips and weird stuff. Oh, Collin, what are you
caught
doing?
up on the enemy.
What are you?
Caught up on the enemy.
What are you doing?
You wouldn't let me run past him. Hopefully you don't.
I recommend you watch it. But apparently,
Oh my god.
are we close to the end of this mission? I think we're getting there, right?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think we. If you want me to remember this correctly,
okay.
I think it's is it this one or it's Jake's where there's like a driving section.
Oh, good.
Yep. We do have to run into some characters still.
Okay. Well, anyways, I recommend you watch that video. And apparently, some people were saying that the guy was only like 10 frames off, like the tool-assisted speedrun, which sounds insane to me.
Yeah.
But it's great because he's like, you get to see his reaction, and so it's pretty great. Like seeing the further he gets along the run, with as well as he's doing, you start to like see him slowly start to like realize what's happening, and so then when he gets it, it's pretty great because it is not a faked reaction at all. It's pretty great. Yeah, you can just tell that like the excitement is there, and it's great to see.
Sure.
But it's worth watching just because it's pretty insane also. But it's one of those things where like what I like about like the side-scrolling Mario games, at least like whenever I watch, you know, speedruns of it, it always feels like most of the time, every single level, you can just constantly move. Like, you can constantly be running to the right and be okay. You just have to jump at specific moments, and that's a lot easier said than done, obviously. But I kind of like that about its level design, is that you don't. I mean, I think there's one part in the entire speedrun where he actually stops for like a second, but I think that's because he has to stop because he's got to time something right that kind of like is a glitch that they exploit or something to like shave off time. But I don't know, I've always liked that you can just constantly be moving and just jumping and you'll be fine. Like I've always thought it was like an interesting part of those levels in like the Mario games.
So you would compare Mario Brothers
We got a
Resident
visual on
Evil 6
Ada Wong. We're in pursuit.
just run and jump.
Yeah, you just keep going.
You just keep going.
You avoid the BOW piloting the helicopter. Yep.
All right, we can
It was funny, I was gonna mention, I was like, I really want like a Mario themed horror game, and then I realized that Luigi's Mansion exists.
Ha!
And like it made me feel good. Luigi's Mansion, the 3DS version, I never played the GameCube one, unfortunately. But that 3DS game is great.
Yeah, I want to play the 3DS game.
It's
I
so
haven't
good.
played the 3DS game.
Like, there are like probably 10 or so 3DS games that I'd be like, that's one of the best 3DS games there are. And Luigi's Mansion would be on the list. I just really messed that one up. Oh,
Alright,
good job.
got 'em.
Good job.
Thank you. Own that. BOW.
Let's go.
Well, the reason why I asked if we were close to the end, because we're about an hour into the stream, and the other two chapters were around an hour or so.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
we'll see. Boy.
That's that. Now we get Ada.
Welcome to Chinatown. Or did she just say China? Welcome to China.
Just China. Welcome to Chinatown in China.
Yep. Do we need to run, or are we good to stop?
I think we're okay. I think we're okay to punch some BOWs.
That's right.
This is harassment. Okay, lawyer up. BOW.
I think, like, when they announce Resident Evil 7, if they just came out and said the word zombie, and, like, made it explicitly clear that the zombies would just be zombies, and that was all they said, I think I would stand up and cheer. If we
But you remember Operation Raccoon City has zombies.
Wow.
Sorry to ruin the mood.
Okay. I still stand by if they came out and said fix camera angles. That'd be it. That's all I need.
Yeah.
But again, you could always find a way to screw that up too. I don't know. I think mostly I just want like a centralized location. Right? Like I want one area, like a very small scaled down, not like globe-trotting adventure.
Yeah.
I think if you get that intimate setting of just like a big mansion or whatever the building may be, I think that's probably honestly, like if you came down to it, I think that's the thing I would care more about. And maybe that's a hard sell to like make a AAA game like that. Oh God, he's just wasted no time. Chris just wasted all those bullets. This is survival horror. But yeah, I get that maybe that game's kind of hard to make these days on like a big AAA budget, but I don't know.
So, I will say with this part though, try
It's
to do this as fast as you can.
oh good.
It's not required, but I would say do it as fast.
So we should run.
Right here. Yes, as fast as you can.
Okay. Gotta go fast.
And dodge the lasers.
Oh.
Glad you could stop in. Like what I
Oh, okay.
Dodge.
enjoy your stay.
Oh.
Oh, I just ran into him. Good.
Laugh what you can, Ada.
What? Oh, we gotta break the thing.
Yeah, break these. Oh god, what the heck? Oh, we were too late. Some other people got in the elevator. Whoever those people were.
Yep.
Damn it!
Well, this is great.
Damn it! It's gone.
Now we gotta take the long way.
Fine, we'll take the stairs.
Of course. Oh, look at
There's
this.
your fixed
Look at
there's
this.
your fixed camera angle. Yo, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
No.
Yeah. Go back.
Oh, there it is again.
There it is. There it is, Curtis.
Oh.
What if they're like, this game has fixed camera angles, and it's like these two camera angles?
Don't.
That's it. Oh, man.
I don't think. See, I also wouldn't really mind. Well, I don't know. If it was a mix of both, that'd be cool too. I would hope that it would be more like half and half, and not like 99.999.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Yeah, it's. We'll see. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this. Before 6 was announced, there was a leak, and I want to say, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misremembering. I think the leak may have ended up actually pertaining to Revelations 1 and not RE6. But I remember there was a leak, and someone was talking about how it was going to be for Resident Evil 6, and how it would look at that. Hey, look right here.
What am I looking at?
Look, see right there. See these characters?
Oh, yeah, look at them. Who's that? Pretty
Look at
boy
them.
over there.
Yeah,
It's Justin Bieber.
it's interesting. Okay, that's cool. But I want to say that there was like there's a leak that was like, yeah, RE6 is gonna be like, the whole premise is returning to the roots of Resident Evil.
Testing for prototypes.
And I'll let that sink in.
Why don't you have some fun with one of the new prototypes?
Bag of tricks isn't going to stop us.
But that was the rumor, and so, yeah, I know how like that's the best. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll get to that, but
Security breach.
I remember very explicitly that there was a rumor before RE6 was announced that are we just shooting these things, or
Yeah, you
Okay.
gotta protect me while I do this thing.
Security breach
I'll
detected in
use a shotgun? That seems to help.
Oh,
Oh well. But I remember explicitly there being a rumor that pertained to, that was like, yeah, RE6 is gonna be a bit of a series reboot. It's gonna return to RE1, like kind of that style of horror. It got up. Now, obviously, like a lot of people got really excited about that. But I want to say, I think,
security breach detected.
I don't know, because there was like concept art, or there was an image that leaked, and it was like real icy or something like that, and so like there was a lot of like theories going around. I could be wrong. Maybe it did ended up applying to RE6, like at least that image that leaked. Maybe it was, but I want to say it may have been Revelations 1 that it ended up
No time to waste.
applying to.
Someone doesn't want us to catch it. You might not be working alone.
But it's funny to look back on that now and think about and be like, okay, so like when the inevitable Resident Evil 7 rumor pops up, and when the claim is it's gonna return to the series roots, while there may be reasons to believe that, you have to keep in mind what has happened in the past.
So it was like, remember Sonic 06 was supposed to be a reboot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it up, Wong. We have you.
Shooter.
Never send a boy
No.
to do a soldier's job.
Ada needs to be alive in the canon. So I've heard a lot of complaints about what they do with Ada and her storyline. Is that something that pertains mostly to her part, like where you're playing as her, or is there?
Ada's usually like the behind the scenes person.
Sure.
She has been.
Well, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'd say. I don't know.
Well, yes, I remember like one of the complaints I heard about this game was that they ruined Ada's character. So I just wasn't sure if that was like if
Yeah.
that was due to like these scenes like this, or if it was mostly because of like when you're playing as her, there's things that happen.
I
There
think
she
you
is.
might
Cut her off.
find out.
Okay.
Probably.
All right, well,
I got her.
Might be a while.
we'll get
but
there. We'll get there.
see what people do. So this is kind of a cool scene. I was kind of like this scene.
Okay. Oh. You know, it's not often that we get to see the two of them in the same scene. In fact, I don't know that I can name another time in the games.
I don't think they've ever met. Or I mean, they've met maybe.
Yeah.
But, like,
Well, I'm sure they have
in
like
the
off
games.
screen or something, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Welcome to China.
Yeah.
Put your gun down, Chris. She's a key witness. We need her. A witness? She's the one who did all this! No, it wasn't her. It was Simmons, the national security advisor. I lost
Chris.
all my men because of her! And I lost over
Oh,
60,000
man.
people, including the president, because of Simmons.
Leon's just like so infinitely better than Chris.
Amen.
For New Umbrella. You know what that
He's
means?
no Barry,
Yeah.
but who is?
And you're still going to protect this woman? I am.
Leon's so much cooler.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know like Ada's outfit is a bit revealing, and that part's like, whatever. I do like her outfit though. It's kind of cool looking. It's like, yeah,
Different than what she always wears.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Shot.
Pierce.
Helena!
He's gonna kill her.
Chris, wait! We both want the same thing here. All right. The SAA will handle Ada. You take care of Simmons. Chris,
I love you.
I know you do the right thing.
I know.
And he goes into the cryogenic. He goes into the.
Fight for the harbor.
Resident the teaser trailer for Resident Evil 7 is just like there's this room with a cryogenic chamber in the center, and there's a cloaked figure kneeling down.
Stop until I do.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm good.
And you hear a heartbeat.
Oh, you've left the game.
Oh yeah, I got an error. We might have to fix that.
Oh.
So my cutscene kept going. Did you get booted out? I'm still playing.
I am now.
The game is in
Yeah,
solo
I'm still
mode.
playing,
This
too.
is Piers Niven.
So here, well,
Ada Wong is
so here's our
taken
vehicle
to
section.
military port.
Yeah, this is-
Well, you gotta think this is probably pretty close to the end of this mission, right? So we'll try to rejoin after this, I guess. Do I just need to shoot her down, or shoot these other not zombies? Oh, whatever.
But I'm first
Action.
person to driving this car right
Oh, you're driving. Oh yeah, 'cause you're Pierce.
now.
Yeah, I gotta. Well, it's kind of like the same thing, except we'll just pretend that this AI driver is you.
Well, I
Oh,
lost
the
it,
aiming's not
so-
fantastic. Oh.
Chris,
it's cool looking. You know, China looks cool. So I wanted to bring this up because we were mentioning Star Wars so much. My review for Stories: The Path of Destinies went live this week. You should check it out if you haven't. There's my plug.
PSNstores.com.
PSN Store, youtube.com/PSN Stores. That's a cool game. It's part of the PlayStation launch party lineup, of which there are only 2 games left: Invisible Ink and Alien Nation. And the thing about that game, one of the interesting things, is that there's a lot of like references to things. So, for instance, there is one of the first ones that I came across, actually, weird, like ironically enough. I got to a part of the level, and the whole game is narrated, kind of like Bastion or Transistor style narration. And so I get to this point in the stage, and the narrator just goes, "The sign said, praise the sun." And I did like a double take. I was like, wait, did he just? I was like, looked at the subtitles and was like, yeah, that's what he said. Okay. And that was interesting. That was kind of like, okay, cool, weird. It's like unexpected, but okay, fine. Nothing against having references to stuff like that in games. Like, praise the gun. It's like, cool, sure. They were probably like, that's the thing. Like, people who make video games also play them. So no surprise. But then it got weirder. Then there was a "Don't tell me the odds" quote.
Oh man, you gotta finish the story, but yeah, just keep going.
Okay.
Keep the Star Wars train going here a little bit.
Okay. And then there was a point where they referenced the Doge meme. Yeah, and that was the point where I started to check out.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's like those are the 3 that I remember specifically, but there's a lot more. And it just, I don't know. I wonder if there's a point where you can overdo it. Maybe it was the memes specifically. Like, I think like maybe the pop culture references, like, hey, Star Wars or Dark Souls. Like, I guess that was fine. But like when like the character said much war to something, too much action, or like when they started saying that, it was like, all right, game. Because it's like it's very like fairy tale setting, so like even that, like, it just felt wrong. Look at that train. These set piece moments.
So I was playing this Ratchet.
Yeah.
Ratchet playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a point in the game where you're flying a spaceship and you're like shooting enemies. And you blow up the spaceship, and one of the characters, not Ratchet or Clank, I don't think it was Ratchet or Clank. It might have been Ratchet, but he goes, "Great shot, kid! That was 1 in a million."
Yeah. Well, actually, that reminds me of one other thing. So there is the very beginning of the game, in Stories: The Path of Destinies. Do you know what it's about? This game, other than like the fairy tale setting.
I think it's about a bunch of stories.
Nope.
There's probably some Destiny in
Yeah,
there.
that lost Destiny. So like, there's like a war, and you're like dragged into the rebellion because this kid that you were supposed to protect, he wants to run off and join the rebellion, and like his mother, who it seems like you maybe had a relationship with at some point, she's like, promise that you'll protect him, and then you're like, of course, I'll protect him. So he grabs this book that is like has this magical power, and so he's like going to the rebellion to deliver the book, and the book is like the whole conceit of the game because it's a choose your own adventure book. Fix past mistakes. Obviously, the evil empire wants it, so the boy runs off, and he gets killed like a couple minutes into the game. And so you get the book, and then you come across this ship that you're going to be piloting. I don't remember the name of it, but when you spot the ship, you know the thing about like how Han Solo ran the whatever in like 12 parsecs or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote.
Yeah.
So they reference that too, where it's like that ship is the fastest Renardo the Fox ever knew. It was even able to run the blank blank and 12 whatever. And it was like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing? Oh, I'm driving now.
Yeah, so I just got to this part too. Yeah. I'm gonna go next.
No, well, you did just get...
I'm gonna go next.
No, well, you did just get to that part because we're co-oping.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were definitely in this game.
Equal opportunity game, but
Right. Equal opportunity, yeah. But I don't know, I would recommend checking stories. Like, stories is weird because it's really cool, like, and it's worth getting, like, the true ending. But I wouldn't play anymore after the true ending because, like, there's 24 different routes you can go on. And so you have to do at least 4 so that you can acquire the knowledge needed to get the true ending route.
how long does it take?
And each playthrough is like 40 minutes. Like, well, if you're thorough and you go through each level and you try to find all the like the hidden stuff, which is mostly just loot to upgrade your weapons. If you do that, you're looking at 30 to 40 minutes probably. You can go as low as 20 a playthrough if you like once you kind of know the level layout and stuff. And of course, you'll get stronger, so the enemies are not going to be a problem at all. It's a very easy game. And you have to do that, and then a 5th playthrough to get the true ending, which is about the same length. And that's cool. And it's interesting, and I like the way that they handle that stuff. As far as, like, choice-driven narratives, like, it's a cool way to do it. It feels different than most other games that are like, oh, your decisions matter. Like, in this game, they do, but for a totally different reason, which I like. But there are 24 routes. And I was like, oh, I want to get all of the routes to see all the different endings, and it's not worth doing that. Just because at that point there's so much repetition. There's like you're playing the same 7 levels over and over again, basically. And it's just like at that point it's not worth it. But I do think it's cool enough to like if you pick it up to to get the true ending, and because it's cool. It's a different take on the choice-driven video games. So. It's interesting. It's got.
We're gonna have a Halo 3 moment right here.
Oh.
Spoilers for kind of the end of Halo 3.
Oh, here we go. All right. I don't know that I ever played through Halo 3. What was your rank in that mission?
Got a gold medal.
You could say.
Oh, there it is. A.
Oh, okay. I got an A too for Ada.
Nice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit OK. At some point, we're gonna get you back into this game. I guess we'll go ahead and probably get some skill points here.
You might be able to invite me when you actually start the next level.
Yeah, we'll do something. Let's see. Critical hit. Alright, that's fine. So, probably do one more mission, I guess. And you said there's 5?
Yeah, we were looking at last. I think there was 5
For each one, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Piers!
You can do this, Curtis, I believe.
Well, at least do one. Oh, what is this?
Yeah, is this the part where there's like really like mercenary with red eyes?
Yeah.
Taco?
So I think I'll try to invite you once I get control of this. Oh, no, it's a sniper.
Head down, they got their sights locked on us!
But I
Pause.
think you would like the other campaigns.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
better
Leon's.
than- yeah.
Well, I figured I wanted to start with something that, like, we can get it over with. Like, I wanted to save Leon for later, because I figured that would be the one.
Yeah.
So how would I go? I'm going to end the game session,
Okay.
and we'll go and invite you. So I'm not too sure what happened there. Okay. Well, that's it for our Resident Evil 6 stream. we're gonna switch to a better game.
Resident Evil 5.
If only. It's so strange that they put them out in this. I don't know. It's such a weird order. I want to believe that like it's saving the best for last. Maybe like when RE4 comes out, they'll include a teaser for RE7 or something.
Starring Leon.
Oh man, if only. I want a Leon and Barry focused game. Or I feel like if you have Barry, you have to have I guess Claire or Jill, or like one of the two. Or I guess Jill. Jill would make the most sense, I think, right? I mean, Claire was in Revelations. So I guess they've both been alongside Barry at some point. Bring back the Jill sandwich line. Alright, start game. Creating game session. And invite you again.
So I don't know if you knew about this, but there's this new app that I downloaded on my phone.
Okay. Kingdom Hearts Unchained.
Called Miitomo.
Mm.
And it may be one of the great apps of all time, which I mean, not really, but it's the #1 app that I'm playing.
Yeah.
I've never played an app so much on my phone.
I hesitate. I don't think it's. I hesitate to call it a game, but it's. I haven't really been using. Like I used it a lot the first few days, and I kind of like fell away from it.
It's an experience. Curtis.
But I think that's mostly. I did the same thing with Kingdom Hearts Unchained, which I really like a lot. But I think that's mostly because Dark Souls came out. So like I was actually doing something else. I was playing something else and not just sitting there like, oh, I got to do this part again.
Yeah.
I'll save you.
Thanks, man.
I'm good, Captain.
This is an interesting looking character.
Yep.
I don't, it's like some solid Snake MGS4 style
Yeah.
outfit.
The frogs.
Oh man. You remember when they were putting out good Metal Gear Solid games?
I knew you were gonna say that.
So these are Neo Umbrella.
Yeah, I joke. But really though.
But seriously.
All right. Oh, look at this.
What's up?
You gotta
Oh yes.
right.
Send me
It's
out
gonna
a rifle.
right there on your head. Well, headshot. We got no.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's no friendly fire.
Man, I got all these grenades. I need to start using them. Okay. Let's get this over with.
If these missions weren't like an hour plus long, I would say we should finish Chris's campaign tonight, but I don't know how much I'm going to be wanting to continue after another mission.
Yeah. We could maybe at some point go to like maybe the next time we stream go to somebody else's campaign. And come
Yeah.
back, maybe I don't know.
Well, I kind of want to, get them done in one shot,
That's yeah, sure.
Can I?
Continuity.
Oh, there is a zoom in. Great.
See,
How do
so
I duck
you
behind the
can't,
cover
like-
again? Because I had it
I
before.
don't know, man. I don't know. I just crawl on the ground.
Oh, here we go. Got one.
Got no.
Nice. Good job.
The video game trope of shoot the enemies
Closing
next
in
to
on
the red
801.
barrels.
Yep.
HQ here. Copy
Never
that.
fails.
We have to figure out where on board she's hiding.
I feel like I'm just, letting you be my guide for this, running me through this experience.
Oh, man, now we gotta. Yeah, we gotta get back on the ground floor. We can run because now there's no snipers that are going to
But we can't hide. What?
What?
So the that Namco like arcade game series is coming out this week. I don't know if you looked at
Yeah.
sneak peek. There's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the
so
4
it
big
has
ones.
Nothing to do with the arcade.
No, it's
has
all
nothing to do
Namco
with Arcade
based.
Archives.
I imagine they probably just saw Arcade Archives and was like, hey, we should do that too. We've got arcade games. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna explode. I knew it. Well, you're gonna get it.
It's cool. What if we just took our car?
How about we just take this helicopter and just
Oh,
get out of here?
that's actually probably a better idea. We could probably pilot it better than the BOWs.
Probably.
If you really...
Oh, there's a medal. There's a medal in here in this thing. If you want.
Oh, we're platinuming this game, so...
Yes, we are. Oh, there's a larva gift up here.
I'm okay. I'm alive.
I am alive.
Yep. Colin, there's too many games out.
There's way too many games.
It's kind of absurd. The list of PSN stuff coming out next week is ridiculous.
Yep.
Again, like that for the 10th time this year.
Yep.
It's just like I don't know, like
So-
it's such a good problem to have, but it's like it's impossible. It's impossible to play all this stuff.
Can't let her get away.
So there's a game coming out that I didn't really know anything about. And kind of had my interest.
Okay.
Blues and Bullets.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were gonna say that one. I haven't read anything about it, but I saw there was a
Because
post
of
on it.
everybody's favorite stealth noir game.
Caballero Noir, yeah. So do we know who's making Blues and Bullets?
Let's hope it's not that one guy.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Shouldn't say that.
you wanna
I'm
just
sorry.
you wanna
I like
name
that.
them specifically?
I don't remember his name, but I really
Uh-huh.
appreciate your work on Caballero Noir.
Oh,
But it just isn't.
I think it's an episodic. I
Great.
think Blues and Bullets is an episodic thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
There you are.
Yep.
I don't know this ladder. Yeah, I don't know. That was I'd never heard of it until last night when I was putting together the sneak peek,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay,
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
But there's also like, I mean, Shantae is out next week.
Mhm.
Which I want to play at some point. There's
Two-
obviously like Invisible Ink, and there's a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like there's that Koi, probably Koi.
Yeah.
Like
Koi
that, like I'm
is-
interested in. Maybe not so much for the game itself, but like because I think it's like the first like Chinese developed and published PlayStation game. Like I don't know, there's a first something there, and that's interesting.
Oh, that's just great.
So I'm curious like what that game is,
How the hell are we supposed to get that
and that's
thing
out next week.
We'll figure something out.
There's a lot of stuff. I'd
You and I have
have to look at the list again, but
Got it? Yeah.
Axiom Verge finally out on.
on Vita, yep.
Blow it open.
And
I
that
think we have to separate these cells here. I think you have to like one
Oh,
over there.
Metal
Yeah,
Gear.
it's one of those
I think
sections.
I found just the thing to blast that bulkhead open.
All right.
Here we go. Like a dolphin dive or something.
That's right. Oh, it can't move. Okay.
Uh-oh. Yeah, some of those things.
Piers, you okay?
This is my favorite Resident Evil.
I would say you got some weird opinions on things. That's probably your weirdest one. Also, you're dead wrong.
Really? My weirdest one would be that.
Yeah, well, if you said that you like RA6 best, then I think that means something. Oh, I gotta hit these QTEs. I actually probably should like.
Oh, the best. What are you talking about?
I should
They're
probably-
like the greatest thing.
I probably should have waited for you or something.
No, not doing so hot.
I'm like halfway over though. I get distracted because that Kingdom Hearts Unchained pushed a notification to my phone.
I'm getting me Tomo notifications.
Oh, see, if
for-
I was you, I would turn that off with all the friends you have.
Thanks. It's thanks for joining, everybody. We gotta do me Tomo now. I'm gonna press this, and I think you might. Yeah. I guess
I'm doing fine.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
Oh well. Oh, this my aim is
Oh, okay.
on point
What?
here. Oh,
What? I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I cranked it all
they're
the way.
they're right here too. This is great.
You could lower the difficulty if you want.
Oh,
Piers, you okay?
that's giving up.
That's what I like to hear.
Just keep going. We'll meet up eventually.
Because Resident Evil doesn't get more.
What?
What? We don't give up on Resident Evil.
What's the weirdest gaming opinion you have?
So maybe
Most like
Call of Duty
unpopular.
Ghosts.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
probably
you know
like
what?
Call of Duty Ghosts.
I bet that
Probably
would be
Call
a
of
weird
Duty
one.
Ghosts.
Sure.
I have like another one that like I don't like Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
I think Mass Effect is not a good game.
Really? So Mass Effect 2 is the only one I've
Yeah,
played.
it just died.
Alright, I'm on my way.
Oh, no, I did.
Well, I'm on my way either way. Mass Effect 2 is the only one of the three that I've played. And I liked it a lot, but I don't have anything to... I can't, like, compare it to the other ones.
Yeah.
I actually have a feeling that I would probably like 1. But I don't know. In 3, I just kind of decided that I wasn't going to play it. So, there's that.
Alright, I'm doing this thing. And I wonder, you might have to like push a button on the rocket. Yeah, so come over here
Okay.
and look at the rocket and like, is there like a button you can push?
No?
'Cause I can't. Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, you're supposed to go underneath the... Okay,
Protect
crank it
me.
up all the way.
Protect me.
Yeah, I will.
Yep.
I don't...
Alright.
I'm shooting a rocket launcher at him. Okay.
What?
Oh, crap. What?
I do it again.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, you do it, and then I'm supposed to go underneath your thing.
Okay. Quick.
Okay. I'm trying. It won't let me.
I got shot.
This game's amazing.
Oh, jeez. Hold on. You should be close. Alright. Oh, this guy's here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of this sniper guy.
Yeah, you do that because I'm out of my sniper ammo.
Okay, got one. There's another one. Got him. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do this again, and I think you're supposed to go underneath. So there's like a ladder, elevator, not whatever, a ladder. Yeah, that thing.
Right.
Right next to this, and I think you're supposed to go underneath.
I can't.
something.
Oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. Got it. Nailed it. First try.
Yeah, because
First try.
that's in mission training. The BSA is
Yeah.
requiring.
Now that's
Do we go back down or I follow you?
HQ.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, we go back down. I was gonna see if I can grab this.
Now let's
thing.
get those stairs
see.
back down.
Well, what gun should we use? This one's fine. Shotgun, sure. Yep. That's how you go down the ladder.
You want to know another unpopular opinion?
Oh yeah, so right. So Mass Effect, sure.
I actually liked probably Chris's campaign the most when I
God
first
dang it.
played.
What are you doing?
And I'm like, man, this is not remembered well.
Oh, so now you're going back and you realize how wrong you are?
I'm kind of going back and
Okay.
realizing how awful my...
Interesting. Interesting. This is...
Alright, I hit somebody.
Oh.
Hit somebody.
We built this city. Yeah.
On survival horror.
Right.
I'm dying over here.
I'm coming. Help you out. Oh. See, look at me. See how I killed that guy? That was great. Have a tic tac.
Your breath is bad. Here, have a tic tac.
Listen, this is the biggest concern we have.
Okay. Yeah.
How are we gonna talk to Ada with your breath smelling that bad?
Orbits.
Yeah, Resident Evil. Oh, the Orbit's Twitter account tweeting about Resident Evil 7 when it comes out?
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess, did we die? Is that... Okay.
Oh, maybe. That's... Don't tell me these reset if you die.
I guess so.
Oh. How are we ever gonna
That's-
platinum this game?
Video games. Play it on easy, man.
Yeah.
We gotta have a practice run. This is just the practice.
So... You like...
Real run comes later.
Is Mass Effect 1 or 3 do you like best then?
I have only played Mass Effect 2.
Oh. So you just didn't like Mass Effect 2?
I just didn't like Mass Effect 2.
Oh, well that's fine. You know, that's...
I actually have... I bought Mass Effect 3 really cheap. I want to play it.
Okay.
Yeah, but so like... I
bet
there
you'd like
day
3.
one.
I bet you would like 3.
I was...
You and
I
your
was
weird
there day
opinions.
one. I was there day one.
You think RE4 is the best Resident Evil?
It is. Resident Evil 4 is the greatest game of all time, also.
I don't agree.
Oh. Dragon Quest Builders is good. Okay,
No, I'm
but it's
not even. I
the
wouldn't.
greatest game.
Dragon Quest 8.
Not even the greatest game of all time.
Dragon Quest 8 is the. Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I wouldn't. You know, RE4 isn't even the best Resident Evil game. That's like the big thing I don't agree on. You should play. There's this.
I'm gonna let you
Oh
play
yeah.
it, man. You're
There's this game called Resident Evil Remake, and there's another one called Resident Evil 2,
Go over here.
and then there's the original Resident Evil. 3 is also
there's
really
one
great.
called 4.
Yeah.
Where
4's alright.
4 is pretty.
You know what's pretty good? That 4, the speed run of 4 that we watched last summer, I think.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
4 hours or something. I think we both ended up watching that whole thing live.
I can't remember if I watched it.
No, maybe not. I remember we watched a good portion of it. That was good stuff. Speedruns are great. We've come back around to that topic.
Speaking of speed, when is SG? July?
I think it's July.
August?
I think it's July.
You know what also is July, I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say Star Ocean, but Star Ocean is actually end of June. The end of June is also pretty intense. I was updating our upcoming
Speaking
page.
of pretty intense. That's Star Ocean 5.
Are you getting hyped?
Kinda?
Yeah.
Looks really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know a darn thing about it, but it looks
What is
pretty
this?
cool.
What? I don't know. I don't know if I like this.
Griffin?
That's no. No, Colin. It is not.
Raven.
No, like the end of June's like Star Ocean 5, No Man's Sky, No Man's Ski. Oh, what else? There's like a couple other things that like right at the end of June, and it's like, dude, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because I was updating our list last night for the first time in a while.
Oh, yeah. Game's great. I know what you're talking about.
4 or 6?
this game
Hmm.
and 4.
I'll withhold my judgment until we finished it.
I think that's a little too late for
I'm trying. It just you know what this feels like? It just feels mindless.
that. Like a game from 2012.
I'll withhold my judgment until we finished it.
I think that's a little too late for that.
I'm trying. It just you know what this feels like? It just feels mindless.
Like a game from 2012. You know, that's a good point because I feel a lot.
What?
This came
What?
out. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah, real talk with
did-
Boss Man, C Crowder, Collin Crowder. What?
That
Yeah.
that sounds like a segment to
Oh,
me.
okay. Oh, I'll tell you what.
Going for it.
So this came out at the time where like co-op shooters
Yeah.
were like the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you remember another game that came out, I think, in 2012, made by Insomniac Games?
There's a I said Overwatch. Overstrike. That's what
Overstrike.
they're. Man, weird.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
Fuse.
it was called.
You liked Fuse,
Yeah,
right?
Fuse. I like Fuse.
Okay.
I played it all single player, but I like Fuse.
What do you do-
but
what?
Fuse is because I was the only person in like my state who bought that game.
And in the great state of Kansas.
The great state of Kansas. I was the only person who bought that. Like, I
Sure.
remember going to like GameStop, picking up the game, and like you were the only PS3 copy that somebody pre-ordered. Like, I was one PS3 order, and then like 3 other people pre-ordered the 360.
hmm
And I just like that's almost like because that's almost like this game. How that game felt was like it's just long sections of just gameplay that like
Just,
you
like,
don't really feel like
Mindless, like, and it's co-op too, so like it's not real. I don't know, like it's not like, I mean, we are dying because we're like, you know, we're not. I feel like we're obviously not really paying attention to too much going on. Like the cutscenes happen, and it's like, all right, yep, this is yep.
you're not really missing much. Like
Yeah,
we're
like
talking about cutscenes,
I
but you're not-
definitely don't feel like I'm missing much.
You're not missing much.
You know, and yeah, it just feels mindless, and like I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but
It's just like
It's
you
the thing-
could've
the thing that I-
cut out like
Yeah.
90% of this.
like, why is this mission this long? And I get it, it's because, you know, these campaigns need to be a certain length, so the game's not like 6 hours long. And it's fine. And like, you know, we established on the last stream that we did for this, like, it plays fine. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the way it plays. But, you know, it's like the thing that I like about... That's why I'm interested to see what I think of Resident Evil 5, honestly, because it's also definitely co-op based. The thing I like about Resident Evil is, like, kind of putting the thought into it. Like, when you're not just mindlessly going around shooting zombies, or I'm sorry, BOWs. You have to like really think about what you're doing and, you know, what weapons you're using, because it is limited. So that definitely, yeah, and that's why I was like, I think it is important to, as hard as it may be for someone like me, to go into this knowing that this is not what that game is. Oh, are we just gonna run?
I think we're actually supposed to go to that place we were at before. Yeah.
Sure.
Supposed to-
All right,
Yeah.
I'll follow your name.
Loving this.
Your name's Green.
Loving this, Curtis. Yeah, I have full health. Almost
Yeah.
full health. Hey, at least we cleared out all the enemies out here.
Oh, that's right. There's none.
Good work, Curtis. I'm proud of you.
I'm doing what I can. You are. I think you are right in that this was a game of a time.
Yeah. There's a lot of enemies running after you.
It's fine. We're okay.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I was thinking like Lost Planet. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's more, but like
Yeah.
everything was like a co-op shooter back then.
Yeah.
Everything had co-op. Dead Space 3.
No, don't.
um,
Don't.
I'm just like,
Don't, don't get me started on that game.
like it's like everything had co-op.
Would you say? And we're gonna change
Tell us your favorite
changing beats,
co-op era.
change beats a bit for this. Would you say that Dead Space 1? Did you play Dead Space 1?
Like a demo.
Okay.
Not really. Didn't play a lot.
I think Dead Space 1 is one of the great horror games of our time.
Okay.
Dead
Free on Xbox One backwards compatibility right now.
Is it?
Yeah, Dead Space 1 is one of the games.
Oh
built
man,
on back.
that is a great. Oh, that is one of the great horror games. I love Dead Space 1.
I actually have it on PC. I got it when EA's got that Origin.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Their Origin. They have,
I
like,
actually
games.
I own
Dead Space
I
now.
own Dead Space 3 through Origin because of some free promotion.
Oh. Ah,
I played about 30 minutes of it and was like, no. Dead Space 2 I like, but Dead Space 2 was a game that, much like Resident Evil 4, not comparing the two, but it gave me the same vibe of like, this is a series moving in a direction I don't like.
yeah.
And Dead Space 2 is fine, like it's a cool game, and it's still got the horror elements there, probably more so than RE4 does, really. But I could tell, I knew, and 3 is just, that doesn't exist in the reality that I live in.
Well, do you think we will ever get another Dead
No.
Space? Probably not.
No,
Because like
not
they made that
not for a
that comment
very
that,
long
like,
time, if we do.
They made that comment that one time that like Dead Space 3 had to sell like 7 million units
Yeah.
or something like
Like,
that. To, like,
if we do, it would be
justify
it'd be like a Mirror's Edge Catalyst style like reboot or
like a
something.
rematch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
And which, interestingly enough, the first Mirror's Edge also came out the same year that Dead Space 1 did. If you remember, there was a bit of like a narrative when Dead Space and Mirror's Edge came out, because there were these two new IPs from EA that were like really different. And definitely not kind of going to the typical AAA mold, right? And so there was a bit of a narrative around of like EA, turning the corner. And I want to say that was like the year for a couple years where like EA was kind of like in good faith with people for a little bit. And then of course, all of that went away, as things do.
remember the online pass?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Remember when that was a thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was such a crazy. I very vividly. I remember like numerous podcasts, like just hours of debate about whether or not it was okay to have the $10 charge for used games and
Yeah.
all of that stuff, and like you see what it kind of led to. Eventually, like you got to think that eventually led to the DRM stuff.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we saw what happened there. I do think about Online Pass every once in a while. Every so often, I think about, like, man, remember Online Passes?
So like I remember like Reality Fighters or something like that on Vita was like that was free on Plus. I download on my Vita, just have it on my download list or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like I went to the download list and it was like Reality Fighters game, and the next thing was Reality Fighters Online Pass. So like they still have like an online pass for those games.
Yeah, I'm trying
remember
to,
like Resistance.
because eventually they faded out eventually.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy, like, to see how quickly it caught on, because like it was EA with Madden, I think, was the first game. If I remember correctly, it was Madden, and it did not take long for it to catch on. Oh.
Ubisoft had the Uplay stuff.
It felt like this industry wide like initiative, like there was some sort of like secret meeting of all the industry execs. So like,
Yeah.
all right, which one of us needs to be the first? And like someone at EA just raises their hand, like, well, everyone hates us anyways. So yeah, and it was, and in a way, I feel like it did kind of usher in, like you were talking about, this like co-op centric and multiplayer. Like everything had multiplayer, everything had co-op. You sort of like Uncharted 2, I think, had it. Uncharted 2 had multiplayer,
Yeah.
right? Did Uncharted 2 have multiplayer? Yeah, okay. Because they
Yeah,
free
like, it had the co-op mode also, but
That's
it wasn't
right,
like
that's
single
right,
player
yeah.
co-op.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
actually
like
really
the
like
co-op.
the
The
co-op.
co-op was kind of interesting. But you started seeing these games have it, and like they would of course have the season pass, or not season pass at that time, but it would the online pass or whatever.
Yeah.
And then of course the season pass I think ended up coming out of that.
Yeah.
Which I think it's it's so weird because like season passes are pretty controversial also. And probably for good reason because a lot of times it does. If it's crappy when it's like Doom, right? The season pass got announced like over a month before that game has come out. But we know nothing about it. And like Fallout 4 was similar, where like that kind of sucks. And to be fair, now I have bought this season pass, but Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2 also had season passes announced around the time of release. I think Dark Souls 3 a bit earlier. And we know how many DLC packs there are going to be. We know that Dark Souls 3 will have 2. But we don't know anything about it. And Dark Souls 2 was the similar thing where we didn't know really anything about them. And that kind of sucks when it's like, we want you to pay for this thing that you don't know anything about. And so that does suck. And I think that should be handled better. But at the same time, I kind of feel like if you look at it from like the angle of we're trying to keep you from trading in this game, I feel like the season pass is like the better of the two options. Although I guess I don't know. I guess online pass, like if you bought it new, it didn't matter because you would just have the code to play online.
You're kind of dying. I'm sorry. Were you dying? I don't know. Sorry.
I'm okay.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. I guess like is a weird word, but like, I probably would prefer the season pass than the online pass.
And it's great, like, I mean, and it's a very case-by-case thing, because, like, Dark Souls 3, I bought that season pass, but the only reason I did, because I know and I understand the quality that From Software is going to put out, and I know what kind of DLC they put out, so, like, even then, it's still a bit of a proven track record, so even though I don't, and, like, that's the great thing, like, I finished that game, and it was like, you know what, there's still more to come, this isn't it just yet, and that's still exciting, so... But it is tough because I don't have anything against pre-ordering games. I actually kind of get annoyed when people are like, you should stop pre-ordering games.
Yeah, I agree.
I get kind of annoyed by that because it's like, dude, like I'm gonna spend my money however I want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But also like I don't think pre-ordering is necessarily like this evil thing. I mostly do it just for the convenience of it because it's like. Usually I'll do it, shortly before a game comes out. It's a game that I know I'm going to get no matter what. Like Dark Souls, right? Like, I'm going to pre-order that. Of course. Like, why wouldn't I? I like just having it paid off in advance. It's nice. But also sometimes it's just convenient. It's like, it's nice just to be able to walk into GameStop and pick it up and be done with it.
Yeah.
It's paid off. I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's done. And so I just walk in, grab the game, and leave. And that's great. And,
That's kind of that's a lot of the same to me.
And sure, there are reasons to be like, don't pre-order or whatever, but like, I don't know.
I like some of the pre-order bonus stuff too.
Sure. So, like, it's kind of dumb, but like whatever, sure.
The kind of, like, did you, like, yeah, like, even like...
I got a little keychain with a bonfire for Dark Souls 3.
I went for Ratchet and I got one too.
Great. Cool.
I was like the one guy for Ratchet at that midnight launch.
Oh, that's you went to the midnight launch. That is great.
Also, I went to a midnight launch, and I also went to a Mortal Kombat tournament.
Oh, that's right.
Mortal Kombat tournament.
I'm dead.
And
well, not dead, but
I got second. Get you a first aid spray.
I remember I went to a midnight launch for something, and I think it was like there was like a Call of Duty. There was like a big a game like that was out, and then there was something. I was picking up the other game, but I don't remember what it was. And
I always do that.
And I just remember like thinking it was so funny that like I was that guy.
Yeah. I always ended up doing that. So I have numerous occasions that I went to midnight launches and I picked up the other game.
Yeah.
So like Batman Arkham Knight Arkham City when that came out,
Mhm.
like Ratchet and Clank All for One came out the same night, and like Madden came out, and then the Ratchet and Clank HD collection came out the same night.
Okay.
Resistance 3 and Dead Island came out the same day. I went to
Okay.
that midnight launch. Of course, like it's all like Dead Island themed, but I got Resistance 3. Mortal Kombat 9 had a big midnight launch, but I went and picked up Portal 2.
But you know, to be fair, Portal 2.
So speaking of that, which we could maybe transition to another topic.
Okay.
Curtis, this week, do you know what happened
Yeah. April 20th.
5 years ago?
April 20th was the day.
2011.
So like because those games came out I think on the 19th. And it was
Yes,
the 20th and it was the 20th that the network went down. Yep, I remember.
Yep.
I am still convinced. Well, I won't. It definitely wasn't because there was a third game that came out that day, if you remember.
SOCOM.
And I don't know. You know, it probably wasn't 100% of the reason. I think the network going down killed that game.
Oh,
For obviously, like it's a multiplayer shooter. It's SOCOM.
Yeah.
Like if the network doesn't go down, I think that game, because that developer shut down, right? Like that game did not end well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zipper went on and made Unit 13.
That's
on
right.
Vita.
Yep. And then
And then they were
yeah.
that.
I think unfortunately that there was no recovering after that happened, and that's really that it sucks so bad. Because you know that is a game that you have to imagine a ton of people put a lot of work into for years,
Yeah.
and to no fault of their own. You know whether or not that game was like I never played it. I don't really know the quality of that game. I'm sure it was fine.
Side note, I did actually buy it
Okay.
$20 at Walmart like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It is not good.
All right. Well,
It is.
either way,
I played a little bit of other SOCOM games. That game's not that good. But continue.
that game's failure I don't think was actually on its quality as much as it was just incredible unluck or incredible like misfortune, which sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Portal 2, Mortal Kombat, and that game all out the same day, and then the network goes down the next day. Because that was also the thing of like Portal 2 was launching that like PlayStation Steam initiative,
Yeah.
and yeah.
That was great. That thing.
That was really cool.
I actually platinumed and co-opted the entire game with a friend on PC.
There you go.
There's an emblem underneath the stairs.
Yeah.
And there's this briefcase with skill points in it, which is fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed those games. That was like talking about going back on the PS3, like 2011.
It was a great
at
year.
least from what I had heard around the internet was that like 2011 was like gonna be the year that like Sony charged.
Oh,
back.
this.
Like, it's
Do you remember?
so-
Do you remember the secret
it's so
PlayStation 3
exclusive.
exclusive? Do you remember that? Like every single year, there'd be a rumor that would pop up about this new secret PlayStation 3 exclusive, and it would always be like hyped up as that was going to be the game to turn it around.
Oh yeah.
And I'm convinced that like
Let me guess.
I'm convinced secret PlayStation 3 exclusive was in reference to like 20 different games at some point.
Oh yeah.
Because like there was once that like someone described like a behind closed doors, like they peeked in and saw like an image of a guy in a trench coat or something. I don't know. It was like such a crazy thing. And much like the year of PS3, it would pop up every single year, and it never went anywhere. And I thought that was always the funniest thing. But 2011 was great.
Yep.
Just
A
listen
lot of
to
great exclusives.
Ada. Will lay it down for you.
Yeah.
2011 was really a very strong year. Chris.
You had
That shot.
he's on it.
Welcome to China.
Yeah, welcome
All I've
to
wanted
China.
is to see you dead.
You had like Little Big Planet
This
2.
isn't about vengeance.
You had Killzone
It's about
3.
justice.
Bastion.
You had,
It's over,
Saints
Raiden.
Row the Third.
I'm talking PS3 exclusive.
Oh, I'm just talking in general.
Oh yeah, I was just
Yeah.
thinking just like all the PlayStation 3 exclusives that came out.
Sure.
In 2011. You had Infamous 2.
Oh,
You had
right.
The Great Ratchet and Clank. You had the Great Ratchet and Clank All for One.
Great's not the word I would use.
You had the Incredible Resistance 3.
Oh, man.
Resistance 3 is so good.
What? What?
Whoa!
What?
Welcome
The-
to China. He flies away.
Damn it! What the hell just happened?
I do think we are close to the end of this mission.
Okay.
Looks like
When does the Ada play?
Uncharted
When does the Ada campaign take place? Is it like after this
After
game?
this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
I've-
kind of the epilogue.
I
of the
figured.
game.
Oh, yeah.
You want me to give you a hint?
She's not dead.
She
I just.
is dead.
Oh,
But do you want the hint?
don't.
Did you notice? Did you notice she was wearing different?
Oh, is it okay? They've done that before, though, right?
Yeah.
They've done like the.
Yeah, she's wearing different
Yeah.
clothes.
Okay.
From what I remember with this game, that's not the real. Age.
Yeah, I think you know what I remember here. Yeah, because I think I've watched. I think I watched like a story synopsis of this at one point, and that sounds familiar.
Alpha team, this is HQ.
That's fine. Whatever.
We confirmed that Wong was telling the truth.
Ding.
There's a fully armed aircraft carrier in open water not far from
Yeah, I don't
Hold
know.
on.
Oh.
Satellite imaging indicates they're getting
I
ready to
gotta
fire
go.
missiles on the mainland.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
imperative that
So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, 2011, great year.
2011, yeah, great year.
You know, I
Just kind of a shame that all that brought all that down. That the network kinda
Yeah.
killed a lot of it.
yeah. Remember, like, it wasn't even until E3, like Jack Tretton came out on stage and like gave this like impassioned speech.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Think this time's gonna last much
Then
longer?
that
Hang around and find out.
what was that PSP thing that came out after the PSP?
Oh, PSP Go.
Well, no, that was like it was like a PSP, but it had like
Uh-huh.
2 analog sticks on it.
I don't know.
Sometimes there's games coming out.
I don't
for
know.
it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The life.
The live.
We need 3 separate
Do you
The
remember?
Fantastic.
The Vita, yeah.
Do you remember the
Vita,
Vita's? Do you remember the Vita's code name?
yeah. And GP.
In GP.
And GP.
Man.
Yeah.
I remember when because the Vita name leaked,
See any code on it.
and I just remember like being like, "That's not real." They're not gonna call it the Vita. Why would they call it that?
Got the 3 passcodes.
I kind of thought they would be PSP2, I guess.
Yeah,
Just because that's how they kept the other thing. Oh my goodness.
I mean it worked for the PlayStation. Here's the console. It's worked very well
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
This guy.
Looks like those things from Resident Evil 4. Those
Oh, he had a baby. You're in my way. I'll let you do your thing. Yep. Oh, there's more.
Uh-oh.
Kick him.
Kick him on the stairs. Yeah, like another midnight launch. There you go. That I went for. I went to the midnight
Oh.
launch for.
Oh God.
Oh.
Got him.
Went to the midnight launch for Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
And they go, "What were you here for?" And I said, "I'm here for the Metal Gear Solid HD collection."
That's right. Good man.
Yep. I bought the collector's edition too. That collector's edition.
I got a bunch of people mad at me at the Fallout 3 midnight launch.
Oh, what'd you pick up?
Well, I picked up Fallout 3.
Okay,
But so it was like,
different game or something.
so Fallout 3 was, let's see, 2008. So it was end of October. It would have been 17. So it was like one of my first midnight launch. It was like, I think it was my first midnight launch that I went to. It's like my friend and I went. I was picking up Fallout 3 collector's edition and stuff, and there was like a few other people standing there, and we got to talking, and they were clearly like longtime fans of Fallout, and I had not played any of them.
Yeah.
And that was brought up because they were like, "Oh, what was your favorite part of this?" Or like, "What was your favorite?" And I was like, "Oh, I haven't played one yet." And they just like it was like a record scratch moment.
Yeah.
And they just turned
Like all credibility just lost.
everything gone. I was like, "Yeah, well, all right." It happens.
I can somehow kill this. Here we go.
You can do it.
That. So this kind of reminds you. Well, you that's how you do play
Revelations 1.
it. Okay. Revelations 1, yeah. I was like, it's kind of. Really
I watched a movie version of that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I did that like a few weeks before Revelations 2 came out, and I was like, all right, this seems cool. I played like a demo for it at some point.
It was like on 3DS. They had a 3DS demo on.
Maybe that was it. I feel like I remember playing the HD demo for like the console version, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What is memory?
Not remembering.
Remember me.
Resident Evil 6.
Remember you soon.
Oh,
What a great game.
that was the game.
Was that
I
2012
remember.
or was that 2013?
Well,
It was the same year as the last. It was the same week as The Last of Us.
that was 20. That was 2013.
Yeah,
Positive that was 2013.
you're
yeah.
probably right. Yeah, it was because that was the year the PS4, Xbox One came out.
PS4 came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I remember a friend at GameStop being really excited for Remember Me, and this is before like we know it. But
I think Remember Me was originally like a Sony thing, and then they let it go.
Was
And
a PS3
yeah,
exclusive kind of thing. I don't know if it's a published thing or whatever, but yeah, they let it go.
yep.
And the reviews started coming out like the day before
Mhm.
Remember Me came out, and there was a friend at GameStop who just like nope, like I'm just not picking this game up anymore.
That's unfortunate. And like I don't
he
remember.
just,
I don't
like,
remember them
nodded.
being that bad. I don't like. I think they were kind of like sevens in the middle of the road, and
I thought maybe like some sixes or something.
Maybe.
Like that,
the
but
game.
maybe I don't think he's the type of guy. But,
Yeah,
you know,
well.
sometimes you feel like, you know, if something's not an 8.9,
Sure. If it's
higher,
not a 10,
it's
then-
just- it's grounded. Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, if it's not Dark Souls, it's just
Oh, you know.
what? Yeah, that's too bad because that game is really, really great. And I'm glad that Don't Nod's getting the respect they deserve.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking about Remember Me the other day, and it's like, if there were games that if I wish I had enough time to go back and like play other games again,
Yeah,
or replay games, like I just feel like there's no time to like, go replay.
because there's always new stuff coming. You always
There's
got to be
always
on.
new stuff.
You got to be in the discussion, be in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if there was one game I had like infinite time to just go back and play, it'd probably be Remember Me.
Yeah, it's like it's too bad with like as late as the Vita ports are. So like for anyone waiting on like Axiom Verge, I feel like you kind of missed out on that discussion. Oh, wow. And like I don't know, I feel like that game like it kind of warrants. Oh, I'm not gonna make this. Yeah, well, sorry, Chris. Axiom Verge like is a really good game for like discussion and like, talking about stuff because there's some really great things in that game. Axiom Verge is
You know the thing, yeah. You're gonna
phenomenal.
first.
That's pretty great. What if I got to play as that? That's a pretty cool death sequence there. It's one of the great things about Dead Space, actually, was all the weird. Oh, that's wrong.
I got you.
All right, let's open this up here. You ready? Only one more to find.
I should probably wait for this guy to be dead, huh?
Eh.
Reload. Hold on.
So I saw your icon above your head, so I thought like that was, or like the movement icon.
Yeah.
I thought like that meant you were there.
Hold on, I'm almost there. I gotta.
All right, let's open this up here.
I'm ready.
Yeah, boss, I'm ready. So like, why did we need to go in this room? to begin with?
Because it adds
Game
a couple
design.
more minutes to the mission.
Fuse would be another game like I wish that like I could go back and like play co-op with people.
Do you?
Like, if there was a friend with PS3, yeah, I would. Like it's just
Yeah.
kind of like games like this. It's just like
Dumb.
if
like-
Resident Evil 6 was like a brand new game that just came out,
Uh-huh.
we were wanting to play it for the story.
I mean,
We'd be like,
yeah.
yeah, like let's stop.
Then like,
talking
what are you
during the
doing?
cutscenes.
Yeah, like what? Yeah.
Stop like stop talking during the cutscenes. But like here, it's like you can just chat and play.
Yeah.
And have fun.
Mindless.
See, here's some dark horrorness.
Oh, sure.
Because that's a word. The box.
There's a box. What's in the box?
Another game I want to play more of is Enter the Gungeon, but I gotta.
Yeah.
It's just like I want to play more of that.
I really haven't. Yeah, I've not played as much as I wanted to. And I was
hello.
very excited for that game. It came out at a very inopportune time.
Come on, what is this?
That's a good, like, what's a game that, like, you always really wanted to play, but it came out at, like, a really bad time?
Let's think about that one.
Yeah, there you go.
This, I can't know if I was thinking about anything recently.
Hmm.
Got me.
I remember, and I don't think it was for any, like, I don't know. I didn't stop playing the game because I wasn't liking it, even though a lot of people don't like this game. My TV, the picture went out like a couple weeks after Final Fantasy 13 came out.
Yeah.
And so I actually like stopped playing that game for a few months because my TV just went out. And so that was that's like a different example of like a really inopportune time.
Yeah.
It was a funny thing is like I actually like I ended up like having a loaner TV for a little while until I could get a new one. And so my loaner TV was not like, it was like a big like kind of flat screen TV, but it was not HD by any means. It was not like, the picture on it was not great, we'll say. And because of that, I've actually never played God of War 3 on an HD TV.
Oh. Huh.
Because like basically that game also came out shortly after Final Fantasy 13. So I ended up playing God of War 3 on that TV. And like I was still super impressed. Because I could see, even not in HD, I could be like, yeah, this game is insane. But I always think it's funny that I never actually did play that game like on an HD TV, I don't think.
Yeah.
Which feels like I'm losing something there. Feels like I lost.
I
But
can tell you, I didn't have an HD TV. The first thing I played on HD TV
mhm.
was Assassin's Creed 1. And of course, Assassin's Creed 1 was like 07. I didn't play it until like 09.
I
or
think
2010.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure the first game that I played on when I first got my first HD TV, I'm pretty sure it was Super Stardust HD. Yeah. And I think it was a demo, because basically it was like, at the time, I think I had Resistance. I had maybe just gotten, or I was about to get Ninja Gaiden Sigma. That may have been it. And it was before, I didn't have a debit or credit card at that point. Like it was still a few months until I was going to get one of those. So I didn't really buy things off the store. And so I got this TV, and it was like, all right, well, let's test it out. We got to see how it looks. And so I just downloaded a bunch of demos, I think, before playing any of my actual games. Because I remember when I first got my PlayStation 3, I had this 13-inch TV. It was the worst possible thing you could be playing PS3 games on.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there playing Resistance, enjoying it for what it was. I didn't really care at the time. I was like, whatever, I'm playing a PlayStation 3 game. This is great. It's Resistance. And I remember my dad walking in and just being like, I don't see the difference.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's a 13-inch TV, so clearly,
It's the pixels, Dad. It's the pixels.
And I always thought that was a funny thing to hear from him, because he was always the guy who would walk in and be like, I can't believe how good video games look. And so I always thought that comment was funny. I don't know.
Hopefully we got it.
2 out of 3. Oh, okay. Use a jet to stop the missile launch.
Come on.
Oh.
The past 3 times we've opened the door, one of those things has just come flying across the screen.
Yeah, because there's a hand grenade in those things. Gotta get these boxes, dude.
Yeah, I didn't notice them at first. I can't pick them up anyways.
Yeah, I know. The inventory's not big enough. Also, one of the greatest things of all time, the suitcase. Resident Evil 4.
That is really great.
One
That,
of the greatest inventory systems
I think,
of all time.
if I could design Resident Evil 7, point for point, oh boy. Oh, what is the aiming reticle so slow right here?
I have my freaking what? Yeah, because remember that part with the lava in the cruise ship?
What just happened? It was so it was.
So it was slow motion.
Yeah.
And my reticle was on my sniper rifle. So
Okay.
it's zoomed in all the way at that close.
Oh,
Right?
good.
Where this came
What are we talking about? Oh yeah. So if I could pick and choose different elements of Resident Evil games, I would have the inventory from 4, for sure.
from. Oh,
Well, alright, I'll switch weapons or something. I'd have the inventory from 4.
yeah.
The structure of 1, with it being
Yeah.
contained to one location. And that would then, of course, just make a thing where the level design is a very specific kind of way. Because I think the level design in Resident Evil 1 is some of the best level design in a video game.
Yeah.
Definitely the typewriter stuff.
Yeah.
The horror elements, of course. And I would see.
The merchant of
Oh, well, maybe. And so I'm a little torn on the other thing. One thing.
Time for you right now.
That I don't. One thing I like that 1 is its own contained thing, and it has hints at a larger story going on.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point where everything's just so crazy and convoluted and weird, which I'm fine with that. And I like weird stories. That's fine. But I think in a horror game, it almost works better to have something that's a bit more contained. Which if I had to have one concern about Outlast 2, it's that this is us knowing very, very little about it. is that I hope that they don't try to like expand the story to like some crazy amount. Like I hope they keep it contained while still, you know, putting in little pieces of new like world building, as it were. And so I don't know that I'd want like a reboot for Resident Evil story wise. But at the same time, I think I would be okay with it if the promise was that like it would be this very centralized location, very small in scale, very intimate kind of story where it was like a small cast of characters,
Hey, Pierce, how's your aim?
you know, in the style of one, basically, where there's like a zombie outbreak, and then maybe you find that there's something bigger going on, but that's all there is. There's just hints of a bigger thing. Weird. Look at us. Ace Combat. What? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm shooting.
I was shooting too, so I don't know.
Already begun, and there's nothing we can do to stop it from here.
The missile's carrying a virus.
Are you shooting right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Me too.
I'm flying also.
We've got no choice.
I
Okay,
don't
get ready. I'm
know.
going.
I have a reticle, and I'm supposed to like put it over these red diamonds.
Yeah.
And then I pull R2 to fire.
Are we just both controlling the same thing? That's weird. Well, anyways,
This was my favorite. This was my favorite part of Resident Evil 2. I'm glad they made
The
a
plane?
callback to this part.
yeah, it's great.
In Resident Evil 2, where you fly the jet and blow up. I think we ran into the traffic control tower. Is somebody flying? I can't tell. Disable the aircraft. Curtis, what's going on?
Yep. We're gonna take down these helicopters. There's one.
You're shooting the helicopter.
Yeah. 2 of them down.
You shoot the helicopters, I'll shoot the... So is that all you can choose, the helicopters?
I've been shooting the helicopters.
Oh, okay, because I'm shooting the aircraft, the anti-aircraft.
Oh.
ones on the aircraft carrier.
Excuse me.
Less. Yes.
So, okay.
Don't sneeze and fly.
Oh, don't worry, I got the helicopter. Yeah, you actually probably shouldn't do that. You're probably right. Sneezing and flying is probably
Aircraft character.
not good.
You don't want to get blown off course.
No. Do a barrel roll. You
Wanted to bring Raccoon City.
don't have a Wii U, do you? Do you have a Wii U?
One missile that we know of. Come in, HQ.
I was gonna ask if you're excited for Star Fox.
I am excited.
Good. That Star Fox commercial was pretty great. That recent one, Foxy Fox.
Back.
All right, now we can stop that missile.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game. I don't know. There's just so many things right now coming out to get, so it's
HQ to Alpha.
it's hard to like to be like, yeah, I'll buy Star Fox.
Find the control
Oh,
unit and stop the launch.
Snap, I'm out.
yeah, you are.
I think you gotta cover me, and I gotta go to this table.
Great.
Looks like my path is blocked.
I'm guessing this is probably the end of the mission, or close to it.
I'm pretty sure this is the end.
Okay.
Pressing square,
Oh,
setting the charges.
good job. You did it.
I did it to save the world. I'm going.
Follow the waypoint.
I'm trying. I don't see anything. What the heck? What? It's awful for this.
You're right.
Oh, I'm supposed to hop over these boxes.
Yep.
Oh, there's an emblem down here. But you're not gonna get it. Anyway, you were here.
It's fine.
More boxes scrolling. There it is.
So are these like infected people also, or are they like
I don't know.
I
They're infected BOWs.
are they just like
They have a
random
name, Curtis.
other like military people like that are against us?
I think they're like half and halves.
Has any of this been explained? Like, I feel like I've been
I
mostly
don't
paying
think
attention to
so,
the
but-
cutscenes, but oh,
Look at that.
That looks like more trouble than we need.
Cloverfield.
Shit.
This fight's about to get
There's
dirty.
John Goodman all of a sudden.
Dude, that movie is so good.
I understand.
It is so good. I'm just gonna keep shooting this thing.
Okay, I'm supposed to be. Okay, I'm at the computer terminal. Pressing square, because that's what actually hackers do.
Yes.
They just press square. And
Yep.
that's how, you took programming, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Missile launch has been aborted.
We did it.
We did it.
Now get back to the plane so we can get out of here.
Now what I remember is like run up something and then I jump on the halo carrier. No, I jump on the. What? Oh, why is
Keep
that
going.
on? Yeah. Save me.
I think, so I think like The Witch is probably my favorite movie of the year so far, but I think Cloverfield's probably number 2 right now.
You know, not Batman vs Superman.
Now, granted, I've seen like 4 like new release movies this year, but I feel confident that The Witch and Cloverfield will probably stay pretty much up there. I think The Witch might end up, I don't know, like Civil War definitely, you know, I'm very excited for that movie, but other than that, like, I don't, unless I'm forgetting, well, Finding Dory I'm super, super excited about, and Zootopia is up there too, as like one of my favorites of the year, but like I think The Witch is probably going to end up being one of my favorite movies of 2016. I'm super excited to like play that game again, or watch that movie again. The Witch is not a
So,
game.
Basically, what happened is here
Titanic.
is I think we were trying to blow up the missile.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was supposed to stop the launch, but then it actually ended up restarting.
It's in for the city!
And,
Is anyone there?
Welcome to China.
Hold on, I'm patching you through to Agent Leon Kennedy.
What? Leon! Leon, where are you?
the missile headed right for you.
Oh man.
Serious stuff. Purpose.
The pacing on this is very strange, and I think that's probably due to the 3 campaigns.
Yep.
Because like we're on the last mission of Chris's campaign basically after this,
Yep.
and it's a very strange like ramp up, or I wouldn't even call it a ramp.
So now I think these are zombies.
Yes. But look, we can't call them
So
zombies. Look,
basically-
they just don't have the same opportunities as some people.
Yeah, they don't. Basically, what I'll say.
This is a bad joke. We gotta stop this joke.
No, we gotta keep it going all night. But basically, in Leon's campaign, all of the monsters we've been fighting that are like crazy whatevers,
Yeah.
we don't even fight those at all in Leon's campaign. It's
Yeah.
like pretty much zombies.
Well,
Like,
that's
what
that's
you think of
good.
zombies.
Like that's probably a good thing because it's
Yeah,
it's kind of different.
I think you'd like kind of.
I'm hopeful for Leon's campaign. That's why I wanted to save it for second or third that we do. That way I've got something to look forward to.
And Jace is a little mixed. In between.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's slower, and then sometimes it's faster.
Chris, listen to me. I need you to rescue 2 hostages from an underwater oil field. Agent Sherry Birkin and Jake Mueller. He's Albert Wesker's son.
Wesker.
Metal Gear.
He's got
Metal
antibodies.
Gear. Yeah.
I got it. On my way. Good. Thanks.
I love you.
We're having a what?
It says there's something
Yeah.
I need to tell you.
Oh, yep.
Ada Wong is dead.
Copy that.
Leon, like what?
Oh, God.
I know.
I know.
Sherry and Jake need you. Don't let them down.
We're having a good time.
Thanks for putting up with this, Curtis.
There's always hope. I feel like that's a commentary that this game's trying to like deliver to me right now.
See, you know when they said they showed the I forgot to mention this when I thought about it when we watched the uncovered Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, all the
Where they were
logos
like,
and
you're the only one that can bring restoration, or like you're the
Yeah.
only one that can bring hope back to us. And like it's an analog for Final Fantasy 15 with Square Enix.
Yep. They're so self-aware about that. Like, it's almost like I've seen some people like being like, do like, because they're talking as if like, you know, there's been some like comments about like, you know, Final Fantasy hasn't been good since 7, and like that's not true. That's like really, it's not. That's not. Like it feels like it's good that they're self-aware that like Final Fantasy isn't as well established, I guess, as it used to be, but at the same time, it's okay to be like, hey, no, they're still good games. Like they've still been very good. Like 13, you know, it's I think 13's good. It's got its issues though. But like 10 and 12, you know, on the single player side's great. 14 obviously is killing it.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. It's just it's funny. It's I don't know. I do at least like that they're kind of self-aware and like they know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's ultimately probably a good thing. I guess we'll do upgrades and we'll call it. I think.
I suppose. I'm just having so much fun.
So I think the next stream, probably next week, hopefully we can get like 2 streams out next week for this. We'll do, we'll finish up Chris, and then that will leave us with at least one more mission if we do 2 missions a stream. So we'll either start Jake or Leon, and maybe we'll do a coin toss. Leon.
I would probably rather do Jake.
Would you? And then finish? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'd rather finish.
Save the best for last, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So we'll do that, and so we'll finish Chris, do the first Jake campaign, and then hopefully have Jake's campaign pretty close to being done next week, maybe. Depends on how many streams we're able to do. So that's gonna do it. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Thanks for joining us or watching this archive. If you're watching it that way, hopefully Collin was. Hopefully it was possible to hear you this time.
Yeah.
I think it was. We checked it.
So.
Sounded okay.
Cool.
But that's gonna do it. So we'll see you next time.